Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn Podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Griff.
I'm Bucket.
Okay, so anyway, this is my bruise right here, you see. And...
Oh my god. I'll be honest, I tried to start the show. I almost forgot how to do the intro. I was like, shit, braid. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Like technical difficulties. His mic didn't work. Chicken's mic didn't work properly. We fixed it to where it worked. Then it wouldn't record. And then we got into a bruise story.
No, Baka's mic's not
Baka's
working.
didn't work.
Then the bruise
The mic was working. It was just like when I exited like out and what wasn't actually clicked on the program, it would stop.
There you go.
Oh, that thing.
That was a really loud. I'm sure that was on my audio. Something just fell upstairs. It was probably our child.
Yeah. I mean, all he does
and now I'm
is
gonna
fall.
watch the phone to make sure that I don't get a phone call being like, "Hey, so his face is." That happened last week, literally right after the show. My dad called and he's like, "Hey, I just want you to know that he's got a cut on his face so that when you see it, you don't freak out." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" He was fine. Anyway, totally unrelated. That's what kind of show we're having, and it has to be a short show, so we're 2 minutes in, and this is it.
Yes.
So,
all right.
Our discussion this week, jumping right in, is about Ubisoft, because why wouldn't it be? And how weird it is to arbitrarily decide, like, I get it. Once you get to a certain point with your game, it's been out so long, it's on old hardware, like 360 or whatever, you take your online servers down, that makes sense. What doesn't make sense is Ubisoft will also be taking away access to downloadable content. Not, you can't buy this anymore, it's, oh, you already bought it, but if it's not downloaded when we take it down, you will never get to access it again. But you already paid for that, so...
Yeah, but this was the fear that we all had when things started going to straight digital anyway. Like, if you think about it, like, we all were like, but, what happens when the servers shut down or whatever? And it's the same argument we have with the NFTs.
Yeah.
Right? Which is like, what do? You're buying it for a game that's temporary, and then you're wanting to move over, which I think NFTs are slowly died anyway. That's good for us.
They're killing themselves, so.
Yeah, but I just, it's one of those moves where it's like, I get removing multiplayer content. I do not understand eliminating single player content.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, why? I already paid for that. Why will I not have access to it in the future?
Well, in some of these games, like, I'm not really sure, like Assassin's Creed 3, I want to say like the add-ons, or at least the season pass, was like $24 or something like that on top of the price of the regular game.
Yeah.
And so it's like you paid an extra $25 for something you'll never be able to play again.
Yeah. Because even though it's single player content that should just be able to be downloaded at any point because it doesn't require a server up and running to support multiplayer. No, you can't. You can't do that for some reason because Ubisoft said so. I wonder if they're the only ones that have ever done this. I wonder if there's others that have slid under the radar that we just don't know about, but this one's getting press for it. Silence.
Maybe.
Silence means none of us know.
I don't see the thing where you can't download the DLC. I see that it says with single player features for these games will mostly be unaffected. Multiplayer modes
You need to go to the
online
one that I
features
posted originally.
may be unavailable for 1st of September, along with the ability to buy DLC, not the ability to download the
Are you clicking on the one that I originally posted? Or
No,
are you clicking
I
on the
am
one?
not.
Did you post your original one in the
Yeah, you did. I'm gonna go look at that one.
Well, no,
if
I
you
meant
look
in the
at it
podcast.
and you
Chicken
as you
channel.
yeah.
Oh wait, that's not the right one. That's about Valve.
So like if you go to Assassin's Creed Liberation, we'll say, on the PC version of it, it says you will be unable to link Ubisoft's accounts in game or use online features, and it says additionally the installation and access to DLC will be unavailable.
What does it mean by access? You can't buy it anymore?
Additionally, the installation and access to downloaded content will be unavailable. So installation. So you won't even be able to install it. They're basically removing that altogether.
Then you think that would be a bigger
You would think that it
statement
is, but that's
piece.
the thing is it's kind
but I
of
mean,
being...
Eurogamer would have put that, like, that's a pretty catastrophic issue with a game. Like, I mean, like that not even being...
But it not necessarily. I mean, I don't disagree.
I mean,
but what I'm saying is whoever's writing the story doesn't necessarily look at the whole thing. They just look at here's the 15 games and didn't read the far right column that Ubisoft provided. Where it's you know, because if you look at the first couple, that's not a big deal. But if then you get to Assassin's Creed 3, and that's the very first thing that's there.
I mean, I guess they figured that nobody really liked that one, so it's not a big deal. I don't know.
I liked that one, but I'm the rarity. Actually, I actually saw an article the other day, or not an article, but it's somebody's comment that's the game that they're big. They'd never gotten into Assassin's Creed before. Mm-hmm. Like that was not their style of game. But when they came out with that one, because they liked that period of history, they enjoyed Assassin's Creed 3. Now the rest of the Assassin's Creed games they didn't get into. They just liked that one. So I guess because there was no other reference, because especially when you just came off of Ezio's story.
Yeah, it is hard to
like it's a little different.
I have tried to play that game a total of 3 times and have yet to successfully finish it. I'm going to give it another try. I think some of it too though is like I got oversaturated at one point with playing the Assassin's Creed style games. So maybe it'll be something I can actually pay attention to after having not played one for a while.
I have finished that one once, and I had to force myself to finish it.
I've heard people say that about it.
The antagonist or whatever, he is so just boring to me.
Now that I don't disagree with, but I like the story, everything that's going along with it. But
yeah, I
everything.
I like that. Maybe it is the period of time and the fact that that's when they first introduced the ships. That it was one of those where it was like it was a unique gameplay. So it was something. Maybe that's what it attached me to it, and why I have fond memories of it.
I don't even know if I got to the ship part. I think I might have played one ship part, and that was probably it. That's as far as I've made it.
That's the reason Black Flag became a thing.
Well, I mean, I know, but with Black Flag, like it feels like they perfected it. I guess with this one, it felt maybe because it's the first time they were doing it, it felt weird.
It felt clunky.
Yeah, it was a little clunky at first. And then they made it part of the actual plot line of Black Flag, so you had to make it better.
Well.
So, but like on this one, you have, let's see, Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Liberation, Driver San Francisco, which I don't know anybody that even owns that. Far Cry 3.
Yeah, it's weird that you can't download and install.
Yeah, that's a lot of the game. And yes, I've looked at multiple articles about this, like all across.
Why is no one mentioning this?
No, opposite. Everybody is mentioning it. Euro is the only one that didn't say anything about it.
Oh,
wow.
It's like everybody else is like, yeah, you can't download or install, you can't buy or any part of the DLC. Like the only thing that you're gonna have access to is just the base game. And some of those games that require DRM are not going to work very well or are going to be broken because they're going to constantly be checking for online services. And guess what? There's going to be none.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, that's like Ghost Recon Future Soldier. It actually says in here you're going to have to take the console and set the console to offline mode in order to be able to play the game.
Yeah.
Which is a good game. Like, I liked that game. But you think that's a simple patch to send out.
No shit.
Right? Like... Okay, guys, we're not going to do the online part. Boom, done. Instead of having to change the status of my entire console to be able to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Prince of Persia: Forgotten Sands. That was the bad one, though, wasn't it?
I think so.
That's the one that, like, the time travel thing wasn't even a thing or anything in the game.
Yeah. That was that was like their attempt at a reboot again.
Yeah. I mean, the other ones are kind of minor stuff that's on here.
Far Cry 3.
Mm-hmm. Splinter Cell Blacklist. That one's just the multiplayer part of it, so that's not a big deal. I liked Blacklist a lot. And then Zombie U for the Wii U, which, I mean, I'm probably one of the few people that still has their Wii U. But
hey, I still have the Wii U.
Actually, I think we loaned ours to Cat.
Yeah,
it's still in your family, though.
Yeah, it's still in the family. It's just not at our house currently.
People that do what we do, we're going to keep it, but everybody else is going to sell them or do something with them. We have Switches now.
Yeah, mine's right there.
Don't you people have Switch?
But yeah, I just find this weird, and I don't know, like, because I was thinking about it, There was a game. Is it Dragon Age that the DLC is what the new Dragon Age is based on?
Yeah, they had a couple of. Actually, I think they did that pretty regularly, where there was DLC that introduced or fleshed out the antagonist for the next game without you realizing that's what was happening.
God
Right,
damn! If that would be fucking horrible if they did it with Dragon Age. You'd basically go from each of the games without the DLC part
Right,
to
that's what I'm saying.
move on to the next one. Ugh.
Like, I'm hoping that, like, because I never played the DLC for Assassin's Creed 3 or Brotherhood or any of those. Well, I might have for Brotherhood and just didn't realize I was playing the DLC. But I don't know if it affected the game after that, like the next game in the row, if it was affecting that or not. And
Yeah.
now,
All I'm saying is that, like, if Ubisoft wants to, like, shoot themselves in the foot and, like, reduce their business, this is the way to do it. Because at this point, people do not go back and buy those old games. They go and pirate them.
Yeah.
Because if you pirate it, not condoning pirating, if you pirate it, then at least you get all the DLC and everything that comes with it and can still play it.
right. And for those in the Discord, I'm sending the entire list in there as well too, so people can see what we're looking at. Since the Eurogamer one didn't even mention it.
Yeah.
But it just blows my mind that's you paid the money for it.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Have a nice day. You know.
Thanks
See,
for
this
giving
is-
us your cash like 5 years ago. We don't care about you anymore.
This
Yeah.
is what we've always said about these fucking online games forever. And again, this is why I have such a huge gripe with Microsoft's goddamn bullshit Sea of Thieves thing, where they put it in the folders behind folders and shit, and you can't even, like, I can't even find it. I bought it, yet I'm not allowed to even access any part of it, even though it's mine. And if their servers go down, then so be it. It's a multiplayer only game, so that's fine. At least, and then they should force you to rent it or something like that, like World of Warcraft does, where you are renting an account from Blizzard to play their game. Where Sea of Thieves, it feels like it's the same thing, but you maybe pay $60. I mean, I guess it's
Well,
like
it's kinda like
40 cents a day
this-
for like the last 4 years.
It kind of leads into one of the other stories that we'll be talking about here in a little bit, because apparently Blizzard is, once Overwatch 2 comes out, they're going to discontinue service for the original Overwatch, and the argument or the upset around that also comes in the fact that Overwatch was originally a paid game, so you paid $60 to get it, but now you're being forced into the free-to-play one instead. So
Which I don't have a problem with if they reward the people that paid for the game.
You get
Like
to keep
everybody
all
that
of
had
your
the original
stuff.
game, if you give me something, whether it's loot boxes or whatever your stuff is, that's an equal amount to put into the game, I'm fine with that. Or give me, a skin that I can't get for anything else because I
Well,
paid
yeah,
for
that's-
it. Or several.
Well, it says that it's transferring all of your stuff, so even if your account has unopened loot boxes, they'll be moved over to Overwatch 2, or your inventory into Overwatch 2.
I'm going to have to download Overwatch so that I can open all my loot boxes before it forces me to do it.
Yeah. But I do think it, like you said, Oak, I think you should get a skin that was basically like a founder's skin or something like that. That's like,
Right.
I paid for the original Overwatch, so I get to have something fancy.
I mean, and there's no telling. Like there was a time where you were playing that game like every single day,
Oh, I know.
I
and
mean,
like you put hours and hours and hours into this game, and it's like, and
I
by
mean, I
the way,
definitely
you're
got
not
my
forced into
$60 out
Overwatch
of
2.
it, so.
yeah, but you still get stamps and shit like that have like the year dates and whatnot, like and midsummer
I mean, I guess
games and things
that's
like that
true.
are year specific stuff. It's the same thing with WoW. You have year specific stuff. I have a collector's edition here from 2007 and 2008 or 2006 and 2008 that nobody can get anymore at all. Period. Like I have the little collectible in game that when you see it, you're like, holy shit, that's from fucking 15, 16 years ago. You can't ever get it
I guess
ever
that's
again.
true. But there aren't really skins like that. The skins, they still open up every year and resell. It's just the sprays that
They
have
don't resell
year-specific
them.
spray.
Well, I don't know. They're gonna sell them now, aren't they? Because they're getting rid of loot boxes.
I don't know. I actually don't remember.
They're probably
I've
set
been
it
so
up similar.
disenchanted with Overwatch that I wasn't really keeping up with the Overwatch 2 news.
I'm assuming they'll set it up the same way they will with Splitgate and Fortnite and places like that, where you'll have your monetary thing, but then you can pick and choose what you want out of those skins and things that are available. Oh, look, I want this gun to look different. Oh, look, I want this entire person to look different. Whatever.
I want to be fancy. Let me be fancy.
I mean,
Yeah.
Fall Guys has a pretty good model where you play the game and you get tokens, and then if you win, you get bigger tokens, like more special tokens. I think you could buy some of the normal tokens.
You can.
Yeah,
because
you
they've
can.
got to generate money.
But I mean, even still, just playing the game, you can earn stuff to go. Oh, cool! I want to buy that particular piece of a costume or whatever.
Right.
You don't have to pay money.
There's basically things to unlock and things you can buy.
Yes.
Which I like. I like the idea of being able to unlock something through gameplay, and then I like the idea of being able to purchase something because,
I'm rich.
I like
I'm
having
rich.
the
Yeah,
option.
exactly.
As long as I can earn everything via in-game, we're good. We're fine. We're fine.
I think it depends for me. I think it depends for me. I think that there are things that I think you should have a list of things, and it needs to be a large list. Like Apex is a very good example of this, where you've got this large list of stuff you can unlock. But most of it's the same for every single characters out there. But then they also have their boxes that are not boxes, but they have their packs that are separate. That's stuff you can't normally get in game, and it's an event oriented type thing or whatever.
Event stuff that all of that is fine, but I'm just talking about skins and whatnot that you can only get with money.
Well, that was the thing that was supposed to be one of the Overwatch features is that you didn't have to buy the skins. You could just you could buy currency and buy skins, but you could just play the game and eventually earn the currency or the skin itself. So
right,
I kind of wonder how you're going to separate that out now that it's a free to play model. How do you still reward people that are just playing the game?
It costs $100,000 to get a skin.
Do what?
Costs $100,000 to get a skin.
That's ridiculous.
In what?
It's a joke for Diablo Immortal.
Oh, that's 500,000. Thank you, sir.
It's 100,000 to get one of the shards to get a thing. Which I think Holly posted that thing about Diablo Immortal already fucking crashing.
Because it costs so freaking much to win.
Well, they originally thought it was 100,000 and ended up being 500,000.
Yeah.
To be able to max out that character.
And still, what the fuck on that one? Corpus.
Well, and see, okay, this goes to what we're talking about. If you think about the fact that we purchased a game, you can't get the DLC for said game anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, and then the free-to-play model that they currently have, a lot of people, Splitgate, I think, has a good free-to-play model. Fall Guys has a good free-to-play model, and which they're completely moving over to that as well. Mm-hmm. Rocket League has a really good free-to-play model. Then you have the worst free-to-play model that's out there, which is right now Diablo Immortal.
Yeah. Diablo Immortal is everything bad about free-to-play mobile games compounded.
Don't you have a phone?
Don't you people have phones?
I don't have $500,000.
Yeah, I mean, you forgot to mention along with that phone that you need to have a mega bank account.
No shit. You gotta have a lot of phones.
A lot
of
phones.
You mean
so funny.
Everyone just doesn't have a $500,000 disposable income just to throw out like it's nothing?
Right?
No, I spent mine on a few things.
I was gonna say if we're talking 500,000 pennies, then it'll be fine. But even then, I can't spend that just randomly. Come on now. That's my pennies.
500,000 pennies.
I need those.
Still a lot of money.
I would take
maybe 500,000 pesos.
I would take those. Go to their office. Just have them in a wheelbarrow or multiple wheelbarrows and wheel it up to them and just pour it in their floor.
Malicious compliance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Get a dump truck full of pennies and just pour it onto their fucking front yard.
Be like, I'd like my cap level Diablo character now, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh man.
And yes,
don't even put it in rolls. Oh no, but put one stack into rolls for them.
Okay, I don't have 500,000 pesos either.
Why? How much is that?
About $25,000.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Never mind.
You don't? I mean, that's chump change, man.
Yeah.
I keep that in my wallet regularly.
Pull out your wallet. Pull out the 500,000 pesos. You're good.
Man, if anybody ever robbed me, they'd just be sad that they wasted the effort.
They would give me money because they felt bad for me. Oh man, I shouldn't have tried to rob you. Have some change. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. I mean, you
Here's
must
some
be all,
unchewed gum.
Okay, we could do. It would take a little bit, but we could do a Russian 500,000 Russian rubles.
Why?
I had to go with something I knew it tanked.
Wouldn't that be like $40?
I wish that would be great, but no. It's still expensive, but it's a whole lot less like than I thought it was going to be.
Well, how much is
it's
it?
8,700.
Oh,
that's nothing.
Well,
Like I said, still take a while, but it would be like one of those things where if you said, okay, over the life of this game, and you're going to play this game for 15 years, I'm going to spend $8,700.
do you really think that
I
game is
wouldn't
going
know
to be
it.
sustainable for 15 years?
No, I
don't
do
know.
not. I do not.
I'd say that's incredibly optimistic.
I gave it
Immortal's
2 years
done,
before
man.
that
Game is tanked.
Yeah.
It's
tanked.
awful.
No, because WoW costs, if you pay the WoW monthly fee
Okay.
of $15 for
Okay.
every year for 15 years, you're still only spending $2,700.
Okay, never mind. Not doing the
Like
8,700.
you will have to play that motherfucker for, was it 20, 25, like almost 40 years to spend that money paying
Pay
every
the right
month.
amount.
How about
Oh.
no?
$15 a month for 40 years, and you hell, that game will go offline like halfway through that.
They'd been better off just going, you get this skin if you buy a new computer.
Like that's just
You get it with
wasted
your-
money at that point. Like you're just literally throwing money into the void, like you're doing with Ubisoft now. Hey, and then it's gone. Like you don't get anything for it. I'm of the old-fashioned mind where I give money, I get something in exchange, and it's mine.
But and here's the thing is like even now we know from the modern games that have come out, the disc, we're like, oh, I'm gonna buy the disc. You can't even do that anymore because
No.
the game's not on the disc.
Nope.
I know.
So it doesn't matter
It's
if you
a
bought it or
licensing-
not. Yeah.
Which is why I like Steam, because at least when I buy something and I shut that shit offline, I still have access to most of the stuff on there.
Well, not the DLC for your Assassin's Creeds that you might have bought, but
Only
for
if you
everything else.
if you have it already downloaded, you still have access to it.
Yeah.
You
I
just
know,
gotta
but it's like, but you got to have infinite amount of room just for Ubisoft games. Maybe that's their whole plan, right?
They're also like they have stake in a hardware company that makes hard drives,
Oh,
like
man.
external hard drives, so that you have to.
Welcome to the future where everyone's got a fucking like shelf full of hard drives with different fucking companies' names on that shit. It's like Blizzard, Activision, Ubisoft, Origin, and you gotta like pull out your hard drives and hook them up each day that you want to play the specific games. Let me just slot
It'll
in
be
my
the- it'll be
Origin
the,
account today.
The to where you have like the little slide in and slide out things. That
Yeah.
the computer that somebody was trying to create
You
not
just
too long ago.
you just put it in. You just put your hard drive in, and it's like okay, I want to
modular,
play.
Yeah.
Yeah, modular. That's the word I was looking for.
God damn.
That's
Welcome to
Set
the
up
new
a-
future where we sell hard drives instead of games.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if Call of Duty gets any bigger,
I mean, that's
Yeah.
true. Some people probably already did have to buy specific externals just for that game.
They're going to take this idea. I bet money on it. At some point, a
Somebody
gaming
trademark
company
this quick.
is going to start selling like company-themed solid-state drives, and it will come preloaded with a fuck ton of their games, and all you got to do is just slide it right into your computer, and boom, you have access to it all.
okay, conspiracy theory, you ready?
Do it.
Who now owns them?
Isn't it Embracer Group?
No,
Western
it's
Digital.
Microsoft.
Oh my god.
That's Activision.
Ugh.
So you have a computer company, well, a software company, right, who owns a console. So then they'll turn around and they'll go, okay, you can get the you can get the 500 gigabyte new console that we're coming out with, or you can get the 1 terabyte 500 gigabyte, which is taken up with the new Call of Duty already pre-installed for you, and it only costs this amount much more.
You
they're
are
not gonna
not
go into the
wrong. They will
computer
start
world.
preloading games into
Uh-huh.
consoles
Uh-huh.
and selling them as like bundled. Oh
Right.
my
They've
god.
been doing that for years, except
they
it's
sold-
been with computers.
Well, they sold bundles, but they weren't necessarily preloaded.
Yeah, this is gonna be preloaded
Yeah,
where
this
it's
is
already
gonna be-
downloaded and installed.
Which
I mean,
some
I could
people
sell
would
my
probably
P-
spend because then you don't have to waste the half the day it's going to take to download it and install it.
Oh
I
shit.
can sell my PS4 right now for a lot of money because it's got PT on it.
Well, that's true.
Oh shit, selling it preloaded.
On their preloaded stuffs. I lost
Oh
my
my God.
thought. It's gone now.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Did I link the Overwatch 2 stuff? I did not.
I don't know.
Need to.
Yeah, that
Well,
one's gonna be weird.
So like, is it just gonna like pop up with on Overwatch 1? It's like, oh, okay, go ahead and install this, and we'll
Pretty
just
much,
change
yeah.
the
Like,
icon.
Yeah, pretty much.
It'll
It'll be
just
a-
move you over.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna automatically do it.
It's
Like
just,
on
it'll work like
your-
a giant patch. I mean, I guess it'd be similar to like when you all do your, the new expansion for the retail version of WoW,
Yeah.
right? Or I guess even with classic,
We don't play retail.
you
Anymore.
used to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
some
used to.
several
So it
years
is.
ago.
It's basically like, yes, it'll be like updating it so that it moves you over. It'll probably change the launcher a little bit, and then
Yeah.
just get rid of the original Overwatch logo stuff, or content access, so that you're on the second game.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't.
And then they need to load $60 or whatever it was we paid for it into our account.
I mean, right?
You've already got $60 worth of entertainment out of it.
Also right. But I wouldn't
I mean,
say
you're not
no
wrong,
to free
but-
$60.
I know, right?
Or
at least give me the skin.
$60 worth of whatever it is they're going to be offering for the skins and everything, and say, here, go to town and pick some shit.
Yeah, their version of V-Bucks. Give me that. Like, just give me.
Bucks.
I mean, that's what it is. That's what it'll be. It's coins.
Yeah,
Or
it'll
it
be
was
it'll be Albucks.
Ow.
Overwatch.
No.
League. Yes.
No, don't worry. Overwatch League is going.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
Trust me,
the
the
Overwatch
esports-
League, from a professional player standpoint, they're changing how the game works, because the meta is going from 6v6 to 5v5. So you're slimming down a whole role, which means teams have to cut a whole player. Like, oh, sorry, man, we don't need 2 tanks anymore. So
yeah,
have a
and
nice
good luck.
life.
Like, I mean, good luck trying to balance. Like, I've been watching esports for over a decade now, and good luck trying to balance a shooter like that. It's like, you don't play any. Like, Moira is so fucking unbelievably, ungodly spoken broken that there is no fucking healer that is even remotely close to the capabilities. You basically have to just cut her in half. Be like, fuck it, we can't do a character like this. She could do more damage than some of the damage dealers and heal more than any of the other healers, all at the same time.
I don't know how much
No.
they've tweaked her. That's how she was when we were playing last.
She's
That's been
still
like 2
the
or 3
exact.
years.
She's still the exact same way. It doesn't matter. Like, and I've watched some characters like that in League 2. It does, like, with the amount of utility that some characters have, it doesn't matter how much you tweak their numbers. They're still capable of doing twice as much as anybody else, regardless.
But I'm just wondering if that's part of the reason they were looking at moving to a 5 model, is because of the fact that they're combining different classes, and so
I mean,
it's negating the
Well,
reasoning.
I mean, they got rid of one tank, and
Yeah.
one tank isn't strong enough to survive against half the shit that's thrown at you.
yeah, so you're 1 tank, 2 heals, 2 DPS still. And if you have hybrid DPS classes like Brigitte or Moira,
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, and then they broke Brigitte, whatever. They fucking just destroyed her. She's absolute dumpster now.
oh, she went from
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
the strongest.
She was one of those that came out and had way too much potential, and that, like I said, they cut things like that in half and just completely destroy it. Because you have such a hard time balancing a game like that, because it's all about crowd control and like as much AoE healing as absolutely possible.
And that's
Mercy's-
all she did was crowd control and AoE.
Yeah, and Mercy can only heal a single person at a time and jump around, and that's it.
I
She's
feel like
useless.
they
Yeah,
didn't
but the person
test
she
these
was
characters
healing, she did a really good job of healing.
Well, that's why you had
Yeah.
2 healers, so that you could have your utility
Yeah.
healer and your single target healer. But yes, they tested them, but the thing is like, once you put them into practice, because they wanted each character to be so individual and unique, you started really early with the power creep, and because all the characters have to be so special, but you can only, there's a ceiling, and once you hit that ceiling and go beyond it, the special is too strong,
right.
Yes. Like, Ana is so fucking good because she doesn't ever get in danger, and if you are... And that's one of the things where you don't have to be a good support player, you just have to be a good shot.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, you just hit your
look at it this way
teammates.
too. If you're talking about that creep that's there, I think putting Overwatch 2 in, what it allows them to be able to do is introduce a bunch of characters at one time
They
instead of
only
doing the
introducing
individual
one.
characters, and now you're trying to balance the game back out.
But that's the thing is you're not doing that. You're introducing all of the characters that you already had, plus the one new character that they've talked about, the Junker Queen, and like I think 2 other characters that they set up to introduce in the future.
Well, ironically, speaking of that, I didn't put this article in there, which I don't know where it's
Wow,
at.
loser. So you could have done it because it was like combined with
I
everything else.
really
we're
did
trying
not
to do.
think that it was going to become
Actually,
relevant.
no,
but
there's
there
2
was
because Sojourn's new too.
no Sojourner was already in.
Was she? Oh.
Yep.
See, like I said, it's been so long
She
since
was
I've played.
she was the last character. Oh, there it is. She was the last character put in. But this article is Overwatch 2 beta reveals next gen features and character nerfs.
Oh, there you
Which
go.
it's not that many nerfs.
Doomfist, I think, got moved to tank role. From
So
what I
did
remember.
May.
Well, what?
Yeah, May,
That's
May
right,
the
you heard
Ice
me. May is a
Girl is
tank.
a tank now.
They nerfed her drastically too.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yes, because she's all about CC and durability. She's not about damage. So,
Huh.
I mean,
That's interesting.
That is just weird.
Overwatch was
what it
fun
is.
until they really did hit that power creep, where there's just like some characters that you were pigeonholed into. If the other team has this, you have to have this in order to counter it. So somebody on your team better be good at this, or else the other team is just gonna wreck you. It's like,
well, and this is the huge difference between a game like League and a game like Overwatch. Is in Overwatch there isn't enough characters and there's not enough variations for people to like get outside the box and think of crazy ass counter comps. Like with League, there's 150 characters. It's wild. There's a lot of shit in there. So if a meta team, which I've seen happen multiple times, like a very stereotypical meta team, there will be specific players that play in solo queue that find niche characters that completely break apart comps like that, and there just aren't enough characters in Overwatch to be like, well, what about this one? Because there's like 20 to 150 where you could kind of pull out these specific pins to blow up an entire comp.
See, and I think that's the reason if you're going to introduce Overwatch 2, and I get they don't want to introduce everybody at one time, but I think that's why you throw, like, let's say in the first one on release day, how many were originally there? Do you know?
21, 18, somewhere in that one, somewhere in that
so
area.
around 20, right?
Yeah, around 20.
Okay, so, and then she'll give us the
21.
exact number.
21.
game launched with
Alright.
21 characters.
I think you add 10 or 12 day one on Overwatch 2. So people are having to learn who these are and how you can counter and move around, and then you project over an entire period of time an additional however many to get to a 40-ish number, right? Instead of doing let's add 2 extra people on top of what we already know. That's not Overwatch 2. That's it's just Overwatch.
The issue with that is
1.4.
Overwatch doesn't make Blizzard the money that they would require to have a team to release that many heroes or champions all the time.
And I'm going to put this into quick perspective. Way back in the day when League was just getting started, they released the character about once a month.
Yeah.
It was like 12 characters a year, and you'd be lucky to get 3 or maybe 4 characters a year in Overwatch.
Well,
Like, I mean,
yeah,
you get like
Overwatch
But part
4
of that
or
is the
5
type
years.
of game it is too.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of it's going to be like the game type. Overwatch launched in 2016 and added, I think it said 12 characters.
Over
or no,
what,
11.
8 years?
Yeah,
11
the game
characters
launched
over 8
with 21
years.
and they added 11 in a post-release.
Jesus.
So
Like,
that's why I think Overwatch 2, you add all that in there, and then over the same period of time, you add, the other 11 or whatever.
Yeah, but Blizzard has never ever been known for their I
Quick
guess short
pace
of
release.
WoW. Yeah,
Maybe that
like
changes in 2023.
maybe
As of
I
June
mean,
2023, that could change.
They need proper resources and enough support. Like
Well,
in
I mean,
Heroes,
they've got a
they
$1 trillion
were
company that's about to buy them.
Yeah.
So they do have enough resources at that particular point. But now support-wise, it's just kind of up to, how much they can divvy out. The good thing is they were already making a good amount of money off of WoW to kind of help with the other stuff, where now WoW can kind of sit on its own, and then Microsoft can go, okay, we liked Heroes of the Storm. Let's see what we can do with that. We liked what was going on Overwatch. What can we do with it to make it more popular, though? You know, so
pushing it on their if Microsoft can push it on their if it's free to play, then they will push it hard. They will push it very hard. It will probably be talked about over things like Apex and Fortnite because Microsoft's like, I own this. I'm going to push it on everything.
Sony doesn't own a free to play, do they?
No.
I don't think they do.
I don't think they do either.
I don't think so.
I think Bach is right. I think the answer is no.
No.
So, you know, it gives them advantage in the console world to be able to push.
Yeah, especially since they own it, since you can play it on PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4, PlayStation whatever.
Yep. Well, and then you'll have Fortnite is, you know, that's a BR. It's a totally different style game. So, you know, you're pushing it into a multiplayer arena style game versus dealing with, you know, a BR. So if you can, you know, competition wise, you're dealing with different types of players. Some people might overlap, but usually it's two different types of players.
Other nerfs, because I was just looking at some other stuff. They removed Cassidy's stun grenade. They removed May's ability to fully freeze enemies.
It took me a minute to realize who Cassidy was. Thanks. Sorry. Forgot. I was like...
Been a minute. I understand.
And Brig cannot stun.
Who's Brig?
Brigida.
Okay, thanks.
They are nerfing because as I've always said, power creep is the worst thing. Nerfing crowd control in this game because crowd control is the worst thing to ever happen to competitive games. The more you put in,
because anything that can crowd control, people will gravitate towards.
100%. If you can crowd control the enemy, that is all that you do. Period. Locking out your enemy means that you win. Period. If you can hit them and they can't hit you, that's pretty much basic concepts of winning. So they're trying to nerf all of the CC. Like, and they're making too many like big swings because they just didn't know how to balance a game like that to begin with.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes because it's going to get a whole new player base being free to play.
I wonder how
long do they stick with it?
I know it was a similar game and its free to play model was kind of toxic, but I wonder how Paladins, like their gameplay and everything that they have built is compared right now. Because you don't really hear from Paladins anymore, even though they'll pop up every once in a while with stuff because they'll add just like Fortnite's doing where they'll add stuff in that's like they'll have a licensing deal and they'll end up bringing somebody into there. Smite's done that as well. But I'm interested I wonder how Paladins is doing, like how they've built their free to play model.
Yeah.
And how Overwatch is going to be different or similar because
we'll have to wait and see. October is when it gets released, so we'll find out there. I'll probably play it a little bit. I just want to see how it feels comparatively. And it's free to play, so I don't got to buy anything a second time. So, and I have to download Overwatch to open up my loot boxes before they do it for me. So,
just so that you can see it.
Yeah,
I mean they're gonna give it to you regardless.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to have to go through 4,000 pieces of items that say new on them.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
That's true. They need.
You're gonna
why? Done.
Hop in Discord and let us watch as you open all these things you've had for years, right?
What is there, like an open all button? Boom! My game crashes.
Too many. You have too many. Oh, that's funny. We do have some other news that's on here to talk about as well.
Just a couple small things.
Yeah, just a couple. One of them is that the new Steam Deck, they've changed the SSD that's on the inside of it. It's a downgrade from what was originally released. There was a German publication, Hardware Lux, that has actually noticed that two versions of the Steam Deck actually have changed to they're calling it a downgrade, but Steam is like, well, Valve is coming back and saying in this rare occasion, if you were going to use it for this,
Then it
yes,
might be an
it would
issue.
be. But because we're just using it for gaming and using our stuff, it's not a downgrade.
It's basically the transfer cables. Okay, it's a slower file transfer if you're using it for file transferring, but it has no effect on performance of the actual games.
Okay.
It's just your files might move from one spot to the other a little slower.
I'm glad
I
somebody
think this
can
is
explain
them,
this to me.
Which
this is either
technically is
based on
down.
probably a supply issue, like not being able to get the ones they need,
Right.
or it's based on a cost issue. Those are the two that I would throw.
And to be fair, like all the comments said is, I don't give a fuck. I mean, first of all, if I can get one of these things, it's doing everything that I could possibly want, and you sell these things at a loss for 100%. Like you know that you're not making money on these things, so and it works.
And who's to say it's not happening inside of the new consoles either? Like nobody's tearing them apart and saying the same damn thing. It could be.
Yep. So I mean,
We don't know.
So yes, technically it is a minor downgrade if you're trying to file transfer, but if you're not, then your thing is going to be running just fine. So pick and choose your battles. If you want to fight this one, you are more than welcome to. It is your money, and you can be mad about it all you want.
It is probably happening on the newer consoles, Oak. It's just the fact that people still can't get a hold of the damn things to check it.
Aw.
Fair. That is very fair, Baka.
Sad.
Very fair. Oh my god. Our last piece is on here. And I want to talk to the rest of you. Of course, Chicken have already played through the campaign completely solo wise on Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
But we've talked about the fact that at the beginning of the year is when we were supposed to get the co-op because it wasn't there for the release. And they said, okay, it's going to be later on the year. It's going to be in the summer or the fall.
Okay.
And we're now getting dates of July the 11th for a beta version of the campaign co-op. And it's going to last for 10 days. So my question to you is, does this interest you in any way whatsoever? That it's gotten to this point? Is it too little too late? Like what are y'all's feelings on it? Because y'all are co-opers.
If I have my Game Pass up already, it may be something that like I'll make time for eventually, but it is not an immediate concern, I guess, anymore.
Could you imagine if a WoW expansion came out and they're like, we're going to have to hold off on the multiplayer part because we can't get it to work right. You're just going to have to play a single player version of World of Warcraft for a while until we get it. And almost a year later, they're like, okay, now you can play with your friends.
You can beta test it with your friends.
You can beta test it
Beta
with your
test
friends.
it with your friends. Yeah. I'm just wondering, the thing about it is like somebody's going to write a book someday to let us know exactly what happened during the time period of the original Halo announcement and Joseph's taking over and the what had to happen behind the scenes to this point. Because I just feel like it was him having to make decisions that were tough decisions for this because he's still there. Because I feel like if it was his screw up, they would have let him go right off the bat. But I feel like since he's still there, it was the previous guy's decision to not have co-op at all and him come in and go, why is there no co-op? And they go, well, we decided to do this open world thing. And he's like, fuck, okay.
Because
we're going to have to make this work, guys. But
like there are games out there. I think somebody used the comparison. It's the new Ghost Recon one or Ghost Recon Breakthrough or whatever. That it's a full
about the point one. The one that just shut down or whatever.
No. Breakpoint. It might be that one. But
Breakpoint. Yep.
Like, or Wildlands. One of the Ghost Recon games where it's like a full open world.
Uh-huh.
You can have people join in to your world. They could play anywhere they want, do whatever they want in their world, and have the progress, and then leave whenever. Like it's fully functioning open world co-op style, like what people wanted from Halo. But this one, like
That's weird.
they fucked up when building it from the they completely forgot to put the code in for multiplayer at the very beginning, and by the time they built it up so high, they're like, shit, we can't go back to the bottom and rebuild this entire thing again. Now we've got to try to build it on the outside and somehow squeeze it into the base format of this program, and like it's going to blow up. 100% positive. That's why they're going to do betas and betas. When they try to shove it down there into the main code, it's just going to fall apart. And they're going to be like, well, shit, now back to the drawing board. Time to try again. It's going to be another year of beta testing a multiplayer before they finally get it fixed.
Maybe. That's a very strong possibility. It could take another year.
They made
but at least we'll have an idea.
Mistake when building this game at the start. If you want to do something different.
And I get it, they were trying to force it out for the anniversary, but what they should have done is just been like, look, in August of 2020, we brought Joseph in. It was a train wreck. We still got to give you the best thing ever, and we're going to start from scratch. That's what they should have done.
Yeah, like they have to at that
everybody
point.
would have been like, okay.
Like it's wild to me. Like when you're, because they designed this entire Halo program from the ground up. They rebuilt it for being an open world style.
Yeah.
Like at no point at the beginning of the construction of this program did anybody go, multiplayer is important to the Halo franchise. We should build it in.
Yep.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Like,
we'll get around to it at some point.
Here's the thing that kills me about it. Even let's say that this person that started this whole thing and started writing everything and goes, we want to do the open world, and they're going, okay, we got to do co-op. And goes, well, we're going to allow co-op, at least couch co-op, because we can do that on one machine, or we could do that without ever. That, to me, that's base, because you could even go back to old style Halo to where literally both of you are Master Chief and following the same storyline and not really affecting the game.
Yeah.
That's fine. You want to go base version, and that'll fucking work.
But I don't understand the lack of any of that.
Yeah.
None of it. And now here we are in July, doing a beta version of this.
Yeah.
And it is a
Beta version of
possibility by the fall
multiplayer.
that it's up and running. But it's just one of those where it's like, I don't understand. I don't understand why they just didn't go, okay, guys,
We have to have this.
yeah, we have to have this. This is important. We're gonna have to do this. We're gonna, let's introduce the multiplayer. Let's throw the multiplayer out there and just tell everybody, look, the campaign's coming, but we had to redo it, and we're giving you the best we can give you right now. And then put as much effort into that campaign. I mean, the multiplayer as you can, to where people are continuing to come back. But right now, everybody's split because the multiplayer wasn't as good as everybody thought it was. It started off great and then just went because they couldn't support it, because they're still working on trying to get the campaign right.
Yep. They messed up the development of this game. That sucks. It sucks to have watched Halo go, and then get pulled apart by all these different ideas and directors and everything and just kind of crumple. But that's what happens when you do not have a visionary at the helm the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have a project, if somebody hands you Halo, you're like, I needed to treat this thing like it is the second coming. Like you need to make sure that whatever you decide to do with this, that it is like defined. Mm-hmm. And they did not at all at any point.
I don't understand the mentality either, because like whoever's in charge, like as in like the major company, right, should go, okay, we're going to do this over 3 games. Okay. We need an outline for game 1, game 2, game 3.
Okay.
And everything's going to be outlined. All right. We got 4. Okay. We got Halo 4 and we went, meh. All right.
Yeah, okay.
We kind of like this. This is going into a storyline. We got you into it. And they went, and the rest of the outline is now in a comic book. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
And then they went to 5 and they were like, we really don't know what's happening. What's going on with 5? Here we go. Here's this plot line. And then 6, you really don't even know it's attached to any of the others. And it was good. Like I enjoyed 6. I enjoyed where they were going, but it was almost like they went, all right, let's reboot the series on 6. Let's do Infinite and just reboot the series.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Instead of having, if we're going to do a trilogy, let's do it. Let's make it right. But we're going to have an outline that's there. I mean, they did the same thing with the new Star Wars movies, which is J.J. Abrams at the helm. There should have been an outline from day one. J.J. got there and said, this is the next 3 movies. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
This cannot change. So when I come in for the last movie, which another director was supposed to do it, but he came in and did it. But every single one might have a different feel. but the plot was supposed to be what it was supposed to be.
There is some thread connection to all of them.
Yeah. There
Like
should
in the original trilogy, like even though it feels very, very serialized, you may have missed things in the middle. There is still like a common thing you can follow through all three movies.
Right.
Yeah,
And it was all in George's head. He said which he didn't have to write an outline because it was his baby, right? Where you have to write an outline when you get to the other ones because you don't know what that person's thinking or what the main mentality is, and you just shouldn't be able to throw out and do whatever you want. Same thing with this. Whoever's baby this is, whoever wants to take ownership of said baby needs to be in touch. Go, you can do this, but there is nowhere in the lore that this is going to be able to work.
Right.
And if we're going to start this, we need to finish what we're doing. But I think they got scared because people didn't like 4 as well as they did the others. Well, it's like 5 could have been the best game ever
Could have been.
if you had just finished the plot line. You know what I mean? Like 4 just builds up. You get to 5 and you go, oh, this is what they were trying to do. That's awesome. But instead they went, here's a set of books nobody's ever going to read. Have a nice day.
I mean, pretty much, yeah. Like, it's true. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you get to 6 and it's
Totally
you know,
different.
Yeah, which again, I liked the plot line. I thought it was good. The gameplay was good. The variation of Master Chief of being able to have variety there, or you could just go through like chicken and go, look at my guy, he's a badass. You know, and you know, you can play how you wanted to, which was nice. And I
Right.
liked the open world effect. It just felt empty.
Yes.
And then, you know, you go, okay, no co-op. Sorry.
Yeah.
can't.
I think one of the things that you touched on was a little interesting is that you're like, well, it felt empty. Can you imagine how less empty or how much you wouldn't have noticed, I guess, if you would have had a friend to play it with?
Oof.
That's true.
Because, I mean, then at least you would have had something to entertain yourself with.
It
It's
also
because they
makes me
spend
wonder
so
how
much
hard-
time. Go ahead.
Like, or if they're going to make the game, like traditionally the game gets more difficult the more people you add into the game, right?
Should.
So,
Or can. And I'm just wondering if they were like, okay, we're going to do this, but we're going to leave everything the same. So, you know, one person playing co-op can go empty out a place somewhere and the other person can go another direction. And if you're doing 4-person co-op, 2 other people can go empty out bases because they didn't make the game any more difficult adding the extra people in. Because you have those bases. Now everybody's cleared out the bases and then you can just meet up somewhere and go through the plot.
I guess that you could do that.
That'd
That
be
makes
a hell of
sense.
a way to speed run the game.
I mean,
You
yeah,
get like
that's
3
true.
Oh,
friends
man,
and it's
I
like,
mean,
oh,
I've-
okay, you go here, you go here, you go here, I'll go there.
Psh, we just watched the speedrun of this game.
Yeah, check it out. I watched
I
it.
did not
Motherfucker,
watch it.
motherfucker just like stands on a fusion coil, grapples it, and launches himself to the other side of the map like instantaneously.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That was the thing they had nerfed that everybody got mad about that they had to bring back in.
Yeah, I love it, man. They're like, oh, this is not working intentionally. We're gonna go ahead and fix this. Whoa, okay, we're gonna put it back.
Like, hold on, but this is how we've learned to speed run your game. You're gonna have to chill out right now.
Yeah,
Could you not?
yeah.
We're the only ones playing your game, so please do the. You wanna leave
Fucking
this
rip.
I mean, it's
Rip.
sad but true, right?
It is. I mean, I played the game and like when I switched out my graphics card, I just wanted to see what it would look like, and I fired it up. It looked great, and then I completely uninstalled it from the PC again.
You're like, all right, I saw enough.
Yeah, it looked great. You know, I was like, all right, cool. I just wanted to see what the difference was. All right, awesome. You know, because I didn't have a desire to go back because I can't play a particular mission either.
Yeah.
That's not an option.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, not
so-
having mission select is the dumbest thing. I saw
So
one of the
once you-
comments was like, haha, maybe when they put in co-op, I can find somebody on the right level so I can finally get that last log or whatever, because you can only get them as you go through the missions. It's like, dang,
Right.
that sucks.
Right.
I mean, I guess that was a way of attempting to artificially offer replay value. Oh no, you missed an audio log. The only way to do it is to go back through the whole game.
Ugh. Well, you can't even restart the game.
Oh, can you not?
I
No,
think
you
you
can
can
restart.
now. I think you can now.
You
You
can
gotta start the
restart
story
them.
again.
You just can't go to individual story modes.
Yeah.
You have to play like you're like, oh, I really love the 4th mission. That was great. All right, let me go through 1, 2, and 3.
And they're like, nah.
I mean, it's weird. Anyway,
Well,
all right. Anything else?
No. I know you've got your thing that you're trying to get to, so I'm not gonna, make it take any longer.
Work. We appreciate everybody that hangs out with us each and every week at Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. You can check me out personally at MDB Oaktree. You can check out Griff.
At Griff's Lineup.
Check out Chicken.
At Elite Chicken 313.
Check out Baka.
At Baka Pickle.
Also, make sure you go to Griff's YouTube channel. There's games.
Yeah,
There's
no,
all the
new stuff yet.
games. You hit the sub button. You hit the little belly thing, so it rings on you when it ends up. It's a bell. Hit it once though. Don't hit it twice, because you hit it twice, you don't get the ring.
No, you got to hit it 3 times if you hit it twice.
Yeah. Yeah. So you either hit it once or 3 times or
That's your
5.
choice.
Yeah.
You always hit it the odd number amount.
Yeah. Whatever it is, make sure you hit it on number. Got it. Got it. Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/EliteChicken313. Where Chicken during the fall will be playing games. I'm sure Elden Ring will be on that list at some point. A bunch
At
of
some
other
point.
games as well. Basically, he needs to play Elden Ring so I can watch it and enjoy it, and because I'm never going to play that game.
Yeah, I'm gonna be making a lot of time for WoW during that time too, and
Since new expansion.
streaming.
Well, new old
Yeah.
expansion.
The new old expansion.
The new old one. Got it.
The
And all.
return.
The return of the old.
Yes.
What is it? The Return of the Lich King?
Yes.
That'll work. Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/MDB Oaktree, where I'm on 4 or 5 days a week, depending on my week. And currently been playing through Icarus and also God of War Ascension, which actually works really well on PlayStation's streaming service that they have.
Nice.
I'm actually impressed with it. So, and I'm enjoying the game. The game's I never got to play that one, and so I'm kind of glad to go through and play it. And then Ragnarok comes out this year, so I'm happy about that. I'm just kind of waiting my way out for that one. But anyway, for the Respawn, I'm Oaktree.
I'm Griff.
I'm Chicken.
I'm Baka.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Please hang up and try again.